Ready to step into the world of Behold the Dreamers.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're diving deep into Imbolo Mbue's story
Okay.
of Jende and Neni,
Right.
a Cameroonian couple chasing their dreams in New York City.
Wow.
We're going straight to excerpts from the book itself,
Cool.
getting a glimpse into their lives
Oh, yeah.
as they navigate the ups and downs of the American dream.
That's a great topic.
What's so fascinating is how Mbue doesn't shy away from the complexities of immigration and ambition.
Right.
She throws us right into the heart of the matter.
Yeah.
You immediately meet Jende, fresh off the plane from Cameroon,
Uh-huh.
filled with this milk, honey, and liberty narrative.
Oh, wow.
He has such high hopes for a better life.
Yeah.
But as we'll see, the reality of chasing the American dream is a
Right.
lot more intricate than that.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, is this preconceived narrative a blessing or a curse?
Interesting question.
Does it help or hinder those who come seeking a new life?
That's a good point.
Jende arrives with this almost storybook image of America,
Yeah.
and it definitely shapes his early experiences.
Right.
But on the other hand, his wife Neni joins him with her own aspirations. She's all about embracing the city, hustling between work and her chemistry studies,
Oh, wow.
and saving every penny for a down payment on a home.
She sounds driven.
Talk about drive.
Yeah.
But there's this contrast between Jende's unwavering faith in the American dream
Okay.
and Neni's evolving perspective.
Uh-huh.
She's facing the daily grind, the challenges of making it in New York,
Right.
and it's definitely making her more pragmatic.
Yeah.
You can see the tension building as their journeys unfold.
Absolutely.
And then there's that powerful scene where Neni's shopping with her friend Fatou,
Okay.
who's been in America for 24 years and is still struggling.
Wow.
Fatou says, when you in America, 24 ans, and you still poor, you no gonna count no more.
That's rough.
That's like a cold splash of water, highlighting the disillusionment that can creep in when the dream feels out of reach.
Makes sense.
That line really hits hard.
It does.
It makes you question, is the American dream equally attainable for everyone?
Good question.
And speaking of attaining the dream, Jende lands a chauffeur job with Clark Edwards,
Uh-huh.
a wealthy Lehman Brothers executive.
Okay.
And he's completely awestruck by their lifestyle.
Oh, wow.
He describes their apartment to Neni as millions of dollars more beautiful than their own.
Interesting.
It's almost as if Jende is living vicariously through the Edwards family. Their wealth, their seemingly perfect life.
Right.
It just fuels his desire to reach that same level of success.
Yeah.
But remember, all of this is happening right before the 2008 financial crisis.
Oh, right.
Jende is in this unique position, witnessing the collapse of Lehman Brothers from the inside.
Wow.
He sees Clark's stress, the frantic phone calls,
Oh, okay.
and it starts to chip away at that picture-perfect facade.
Yeah.
He's like a fly on the wall during the collapse of a financial giant. You can almost feel the tension and uncertainty in the air.
Right.
And for Jende, who has come to admire Clark, it's a real wake-up call.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, how much do we truly see of the lives of those we perceive as successful?
That's a good question.
Are their struggles masked by a veneer of wealth and privilege?
It's possible.
And then there's the whole issue of Jende's asylum application.
Right.
His lawyer, Boubacar, comes up with this rather desperate plan. Boubacar's something else.
Yeah.
But his strategy really speaks to the lengths people will go to for a chance to stay in America.
I see.
It forces you to think about the moral dilemmas, the compromises people make when their dreams are on the line.
That's true.
It's a tightrope walk between desperation and ethics.
Yeah.
And then you have Winston Jende's cousin,
Okay.
a corporate lawyer who's incredibly skeptical of Boubacar's tactics. He even calls Boubacar a mutuku,
What's that?
which, as the book explains, is a term for someone foolish or incompetent.
Oh.
It's like you have these three perspectives on immigration clashing.
Right.
Jende's hope, Boubacar's willingness to bend the rules,
Yeah.
and Winston's pragmatism.
Yeah.
It highlights the moral gray areas,
Yeah.
the different approaches people take
Okay.
when navigating the complexities of the system.
I see.
And all the while, Neni's facing her own battles.
Yeah.
Her pre-calculus class is proving to be quite the challenge, and she's fighting tooth and nail for her son Leomi's education.
Wow.
It's like she's starting to realize that maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
the American dream isn't as simple as she once believed.
Right.
She's definitely facing the reality of hard work and sacrifice.
Makes sense.
And then there's that scene where she helps Cindy Edwards Clark's wife,
Okay.
when Cindy's having a complete meltdown.
Oh, wow.
Neni gets a glimpse behind the curtain of wealth and privilege.
Mm.
And it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
It's a pivotal moment.
Right.
Neni's pulled into their world facing ethical questions and realizing that even those who seem to have it all can be struggling behind closed doors.
Makes you think.
It makes you wonder what she would do,
Yeah.
what she would do in her shoes.
Mm.
Would you maintain your distance or get involved?
Interesting.
It's a real moral dilemma.
Absolutely.
But so far, we've seen Jende and Neni arrive with such big dreams,
Right.
face unexpected hurdles,
Yeah.
and begin to question those carefully crafted narratives about America.
It's just the beginning.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Definitely.
As we continue to dive into Behold the Dreamers,
Oh.
we'll see how they adapt to the choices they make
Right.
and how their definitions of success and happiness
Hmm.
are transformed by their experiences.
I can't wait to hear more. It's fascinating how Mbue contrasts Jende's experiences working for Clark with Neni's growing awareness
Yeah.
of the complexities of American society.
Right.
On one hand, Jende is immersed in this world of wealth and privilege, while Neni is navigating the everyday realities of being an immigrant in a city as vast as New York.
Like when Jende observes Clark's obsession with healthy eating,
Right.
he remarks to Neni, people in this country always worrying about how to eat.
Yeah.
They pay someone good money to tell them, eat this, don't eat that.
Wow.
It's such a small detail,
Yeah.
but it speaks volumes about how Jende perceives class and privilege.
Absolutely.
He's witnessing the anxieties and preoccupations of the wealthy,
Right.
which are so different from his own concerns about making ends meet
Yeah.
and building a stable life for his family.
And then there's the whole backdrop of the financial crisis looming over everything.
Oh, right.
Remember when Jende overhears Clark talking about Repo 105?
Mm-hmm.
Those accounting tricks Lehman Brothers was using?
It's like he's watching this giant house of cards about to collapse,
Yeah.
but he doesn't quite grasp the intricacies of it all.
Right.
Still, Jende can sense the mounting pressure, the fear in Clark's voice.
And you as the reader can sense it too.
Yeah.
It's almost palpable. Jende worries about what will happen to Clark, who he's come to admire,
Right.
when it all comes crashing down.
Of course.
And of course, it does come crashing down.
Yeah.
Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy. Clark loses his job.
All right.
And suddenly Jende, who is dependent on Clark for his visa sponsorship, is facing deportation.
Wow.
It's a harsh reminder that for immigrants like Jende,
Yeah.
the American dream can be incredibly fragile.
It's a gut punch, for sure.
It is.
And the timing couldn't be worse.
Mm.
Because while Jende is dealing with this devastating blow,
Right.
Neni is having her own experiences
Okay.
that are shaping her perspective on America.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene where she attends Winston's birthday party
Uh-huh.
and feels so out of place?
Oh, yeah.
That scene is incredibly well written.
It is.
Neni is surrounded by Winston's colleagues, mostly white,
Mm.
and she's acutely aware of her accent, her appearance,
Right.
feeling this immense pressure to fit in.
Yeah.
And what's striking is her observation that even in a diverse city like New York,
Yeah.
people tend to stick to their own kind.
Interesting.
It makes you think about those invisible lines that divide us,
Right.
the subtle social codes that dictate who belongs and who doesn't.
It's a profound realization for Neni, and it makes her question her own place in this new world. Maybe she thinks she's content with her own world in Harlem,
Right.
in the community, and doesn't need to force herself
Yeah.
into spaces where she feels like an outsider.
It's a subtle shift in her perspective on the American dream, isn't it?
It is.
She's not rejecting it,
Uh-huh.
but she's redefining it on her own terms,
Okay.
prioritizing authenticity and belonging over assimilation.
Precisely.
And as Neni is navigating these social complexities,
Mm.
things take a darker turn with the Edwards family.
Oh, no.
Cindy Clark's wife starts drinking heavily,
Wow.
and Neni finds her in a vulnerable state, drunk and crying,
Oh,
in the Hamptons.
it's like the perfect facade of their life is cracking. And Neni is getting a glimpse of the struggles hidden beneath the surface.
And it puts her in a difficult position.
Absolutely.
The housekeeper, Anna, suggests telling Clark about Cindy's drinking.
Right.
But Neni feels torn.
Hmm.
She feels a sense of loyalty to Cindy, who has shown her kindness,
Yeah.
but she also knows that Clark is completely in the dark
Right.
Got a moral dilemma with no easy answer.
And then comes that bombshell.
Oh, yeah.
When Cindy reveals the truth about her childhood.
Wow.
About how she was conceived when her mother was raped.
That's awful.
It's such a heartbreaking revelation.
Yeah.
And it adds a whole new layer of complexity to Cindy's character.
For sure.
It sheds light on her struggles, her self-destructive behavior, and it challenges Jende's idealized view of the Edwards family.
Right.
Suddenly, the people he admired, the embodiment of the American dream, are revealed to be flawed, hurting individuals like everyone else.
It's a powerful reminder.
It is.
That behind the facades of wealth and privilege, there can be hidden wounds and unspoken pain.
And Neni is left carrying this heavy secret.
Right.
Unsure of what to do, how to help.
It's a lot for anyone to handle.
Absolutely.
Especially someone already navigating the uncertainties of being an immigrant.
Exactly.
And both Jende and Neni are facing turning points in their journeys. The American dream is starting to unravel before their eyes.
Yeah.
Revealing the cracks and imperfections beneath the surface.
They're being forced to ask themselves some tough questions.
Right.
What are they willing to sacrifice for their dreams?
Yeah.
What compromises are they willing to make? And ultimately, what truly defines success and happiness?
And we're still in the thick of the story.
We are.
Jende is facing deportation. Neni is grappling with Cindy's unraveling.
Right.
And the financial crisis is impacting everyone's lives.
It's like a pressure cooker of challenges and decisions.
It is.
What happens next?
We left off with Jende and Neni at a crossroads, their dreams kind of hanging in the balance.
Right.
Jende's facing deportation. Neni's wrestling with moral dilemmas.
Yeah.
And the financial crisis is casting a shadow over everything. What happens next?
Well, the fallout from the Edwards family scandal hits Jende hard.
Yeah.
He loses his job with Clark.
Right.
And it's not just about the loss of income, it's the feeling of betrayal.
Yeah.
Remember that scene where he confronts Clark waving that notebook?
Oh, yeah.
Filled with Clark's fabricated stories?
It's such a raw and powerful moment.
It is.
Jende's world comes crashing down.
Yeah.
He put his faith in this man in the system, and it backfired in the worst way.
It's heartbreaking to see his disillusionment.
Right.
And meanwhile, Neni is trying to hold everything together. She's a mother. She's trying to finish her education.
Yeah.
The threat of deportation is constantly looming.
She's incredibly strong and resourceful.
She is.
But you can feel the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Right.
And then she makes a decision that's both surprising and completely understandable.
Yeah.
Given everything she's going through.
Okay.
She decides to try and secure a green card through marriage.
Wow.
It's a desperate move.
Right.
A sign of how far she's willing to go to protect her family's future in America.
She even considers marrying her former pre-calculus professor.
Oh, wow.
It really highlights the lengths people will go to when they feel they have no other options.
It makes you think about the sacrifices people make.
Yeah.
The compromises they're forced to consider when their dreams are on the line.
But ultimately, that plan falls apart. And it's actually Jende who makes the decision that changes everything.
Okay.
He learns that his father has passed away in Cameroon.
Oh, wow.
And he decides he wants to go home.
It's a turning point for him.
It is.
He realizes that the American dream, at least for him,
Yeah.
has come at too high a price.
Right.
He's lost his job, his sense of security, and now his father. It's like he's finally acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, his dreams were leading him in the wrong direction.
Yep. And Neni's reaction is interesting.
Right.
At first, she's resistant to the idea of returning to Cameroon.
Makes sense.
She's built a life in New York. Her kids are thriving there.
Yeah.
It's understandable that she wouldn't want to give it all up.
It shows how differently they've adapted to life in America.
Absolutely.
Jende's holding on to this idealized vision of Cameroon, while Neni's become more grounded in the reality of their present situation.
But eventually she comes to terms with the decision. They start packing their belongings, selling their furniture, saying goodbye to the life they've built.
There's that poignant scene where they visit Red Lobster,
Oh, yeah.
their favorite restaurant, one last time.
That scene really stayed with me.
Yeah.
Jende reminisces about Times Square, how it used to be his second substitute best friend,
Right.
a place that reminded him of home.
It's like he's come full circle.
Right.
He arrived in America searching for something familiar, something that reminded him of Limby.
Yeah.
And now as he's preparing to return, he finds comfort in those same familiar spaces.
It's bittersweet, isn't it?
It is.
There's a sense of loss, but also a feeling of liberation.
I agree.
They're leaving behind a dream that didn't quite materialize the way they'd hoped.
Right.
But they're also going home with a new perspective,
Yeah.
a deeper understanding of themselves and what truly matters.
And then there's that final encounter between Jende and Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Clark is surprised to learn that Jende was seeking asylum,
Right.
and he gives him a parting gift, an envelope filled with cash.
It's a complex gesture.
It is.
Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's a recognition of the sacrifices Jende has made.
Yeah.
It leaves you wondering about the power dynamics in their relationship,
Right.
even as it comes to an end.
It's a fitting ending to a story that's full of nuance and unexpected turns.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that the American dream, while powerful and alluring,
Yeah.
is a multifaceted and often elusive pursuit. It means different things to different people.
Right.
And the path to achieving it is rarely straightforward.
Behold the Dreamers is such a powerful exploration
It is.
of ambition, resilience, and the complexities of the immigrant experience.
It challenges our preconceived notions
Yeah.
and asks us to consider what we're willing to sacrifice for our dreams.
It definitely stays with you long after you finish reading it.
Right.
It makes you think about your own definition of success, the compromises you might be willing to make, and the importance of staying true to yourself,
Right.
even in the face of adversity.
This deep dive has been a journey.
It
And we've only scratched the surface of this incredible book.
Absolutely.
I highly encourage everyone to read Behold the Dreamers in its entirety.
You won't be disappointed.
What I find so inspiring is how Mbue captures the human spirit's ability to adapt and find meaning, even when things don't go according to plan.
Jende and Neni's story reminds us
Right.
that sometimes the greatest journeys lead us back to where we started, but with a newfound appreciation for the path we've traveled.
That's it for this deep dive, folks.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back next week with another fascinating exploration.
See you then.
Until then, keep those minds curious and those hearts open to new perspectives.